All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Let's go. Let's get it. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing today? On a Tuesday, kicking it off. Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 60. It is March 22nd. Kicking it into first full day of spring for us if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, fall. Shout out to Brazil and all my folks down there. Hope you had a great summer. Let's get to it. We're seeing a lot of things happen. Bitcoin, the market's popping a little bit. Check out, before I go any further, risk disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is entertainment. Hope you find educational. Again, how's everybody doing in the chat today? Lot happening with the bigger retest. Crypto is looking promising. Better. This is some construction. And we talked about the reaction yesterday, and now we're back for the return. Really quick, want to just point everybody over to harmonictrader.com. Again, become a basic member. You know the deal. Register. All you need is an email address. The one thing I do want to point out that people are taking advantage of the other free trials. The MetaTrader is pretty popular. So most people have taken advantage of the TradingView trial. If you haven't, please send your username to that email address. And then if you want to check out the MetaTrader, eSignal, NinjaTrader, Sierra Chart, take a look at this information. Today I'm going to go through a little information on harmonic ratios. And that's going to come out of the Harmonic Trading Volume 1 book. And all the books can be accessed there. So if you have not downloaded the books, please access that information. It's good reference material, and from time to time, like today, we'll look at specific concepts. So for today, first I want to start off with this return move in Bitcoin, and then we're going to get into the broader markets. Also, I'm going to highlight some altcoin setups I mentioned yesterday. Now, we knew about the bat pattern on the 4-hour chart. Talked about the whole reaction phenomenon. And again, look at what happened, folks. Perfect response off of the target 1 level. About the only thing that maybe I would have preferred is if this HSI signal happened at that 40,530. But we were anticipating reaction, and HSI checkback came in. Now, only number I want to look at right there, 43,300, the hop level on this bat. It's everything. I'll get to why it is everything, this hop level secondary retest. Your entire scenario for how we finish the end of the quarter and what might be possible going into next quarter is going to come real close at this hop level and in the next 2 days. We really have just kind of taken our time getting out of this hole, coming off of the low 30 level, uninspired action until recently with a lot of pattern construction. What I'm looking for on Bitcoin at this 43.3 level, 43,300 exactly. Take a look at what Harmonic Strength Index does. We're already in the overbought. Are we going to pivot out and roll over now? The other indicator, which is amplified RSI, trying to roll over. It's not there yet, and there's nothing to say this can't go sideways. These are the things to be looking for in the next 24 hours. Certainly. If we're going to be bullish, if we're going to get some kind of larger move, and 43.3 is the number. That's where this bat pattern will fail. That's where, go to the daily time frame. This is where you start to break out of the just completely compressed wedge. This ever tightening range is trying to crack to the upside. Kind of looks like that if we do it really in the most generous of trendline outlines. Really important you not only get above this, but you close tonight above 43.3. Keep an eye on this stuff. This is where the harmonic measurements and understanding where the zones are, where the individual price action comes together, will tell you that, hey, this thing has got possibilities because you got a heck of a lot of things behind it. We know that, okay, let's go back to back here. We know in the 4-hour time frame for BTC, and the 4-hour time frame is probably the maximum allowable kind of time constraint I want to be looking at. We can look at daily, but this is still in a phase where consolidation is not going to be, even to the upside, is not going to be that exciting. Constructive, but you're not going to get massive acceleration until we crack some immediate levels. And the two things that stand out, really, again, the hop level 43.3, above that, retest of that other bat pattern from back in February, 45.865. And this type 2 crab pattern that started over a month ago is now working out. I would think treat this as an extended type 2. Think of it that way. This first reaction was ideal off the hop level. Sloppy in the zone, exceeded the hop a little bit, but that was the end of the correction off of the original bat pattern. So we're thinking reaction, but it went deep. 36,000. Again, take a look at those sessions. Go back to February because we were scraping the edge there. And each time I was saying, this is it. Back here at 35,000, I was saying 34,000's make or break, and we held. And then not more than, a week ago, I was saying 38,000, 36,000 actually was make or break. At least it's working. You see the critical levels holding. A lot of this stuff, I think, is probably, there are certain areas that I probably have a better understanding, quite frankly, because I automatically see the 1-2s. I see the type 1s, I see the type 2s. So if I'm going to say, folks, this is the critical area, or now this is even more critical, there are probably some secondary considerations I'm seeing in there that maybe I'm not even featuring enough, but this reaction from the 25th up until March 2nd, that was your primary type 1 move, and then come back down for the full retest, and that starts the type 2 reversal, which is, we're still there. We're still in the type 2 reversal, but the interesting thing is, if that is the type 2 reversal, and it started roughly around March 7, we'll take a look. Wouldn't, and of course we do, our anticipation off of that bullish pattern, actually, let me just highlight it. Let's blow it up. There's the zone, the original zone, all the way back. Big reaction. Comes back. And that's the level. That's the other thing to consider when you're talking how to define structurally where the type 2 begins. It's on the XA retest. And that's, right there. Okay, right there. That's the minimum structural level. The other aspect of the type 2, we want HSI confirmation, which we got right there, 37.5. Those two strategies are going to optimize your type 2s, even if they're going to take longer, which this clearly has. I mean, we're how many bars now? If this is the absolute, call it activation point for the type 2, which it is, then we'll start the measurement. We'll start the day count, if you will, from there all the way to where we are. We're 89 bars, folks, 88 bars. But that's okay. That's some of the slack we give the type 2 reversal. And you might, maybe we go to a 480, 8 hour instead of 4 hour, 8 hour. That's another way to think about it. If you see some kind of extended type 2 like we've been seeing, well, then look at the slightly longer. Go double the time frame and look at see if you see something there. We did have something on the 8 hour, which was a beautiful bat pattern, sloppy on the initial test, but even that thing, off the February low, had a full retest right there. 37.357 was your 886, but you kissed the hop level. I mean, that's That's the amazing thing about the hop. We have to give it some tolerance within the real world, especially on the type 1, the initial completion. And we said that was ugly, but had some things where basically scraped the edge at the prior 886, but did get reaction. Then you came back, even on the 8 hour reversal. So I'm going to look at that, and I will consider that because we are at that target 2 level. I mean, by definition, you could say that that's target 2 off the bat pattern. And anything above here, well, that's probably going to lead to something more. And again, even above, I think the big breakout will be a break above that pattern range. And I'll say this, Bitcoin 46 anything, and you are back in business. Definitely. I think it'll happen. It's just going to take some time. So what's going on, everybody else that's in here, coming in? Got some more people coming in. That's great. Appreciate everyone that have been in the Discord. We've had a bunch of people join recently on basic membership and the Discord. So again, I invite you to get all of your information at the basic member page on harmonictrader.com. And lots of great charts, lots of great interaction happening right there. Go to the Discord link and connect with us, Harmonic Pattern Central, on Discord. Yeah, it's starting to go. Sweet. Also, quick shout out to Mitch Ray. I don't know if he's in here, but Mitch and I are going to do another Thursday session. We'll get Mitch to come back on Thursday afternoon. And then I'll join him for some fun Thursday night. And maybe a beer. Maybe a beer. So, we'll have a lot to talk about. Because whatever happens on this Bitcoin chart with the 4 hour, go back to the 4 hour. I think it's going to be obvious that after we resolve this retest, you break above that 43.3 hop level. That starts it, and then the full official daily breakout's probably 46. So that's, want to keep an eye on that. There's a pending bearish Gartley on the 4 hour at 43.3. I think I know what you're getting at. So the other mention is this. Now, this is probably a good segue into a few of the concepts I want to talk about today. Because we do have a W formation within all of this zigzag movement. What we're looking at are the automated patterns from the software. And someone asked me in yesterday's session, do I only go with the automated harmonic patterns? And I do. But I will trace out what someone is suggesting here, and we'll take a look at it. Because someone is saying, well, there's a bearish Gartley here as well. But let's take a look. This is the proposed bearish Gartley that more than one person has mentioned this to me. So there's X to A. B point comes in at what? 65%. That is really close. That's really close to our max tolerance. C point at about a 90. And then you get this rather tight configuration. Probably like that. You do have a very small ABCD, but this is where some differentiation of the structure matters. Now, I'm not going to say that this is not a Gartley because you do have your B point at a 618. It's really a 65% The exact number is 618 plus minus 3%. So we could go 64.8, but we don't want to go much more. The problem with this Gartley is this C point at roughly a 93%. That's not quite the W formation you want to see. That can happen. But that double bottom, that's more indicative of like truly what is a double bottom. Typically, I don't want to see the C point go below an 886, and you really, the better Gartleys are 618 or 50, because then that sets up a nice A to B, C to D configuration. Important, and really important. Even so, your 786 up there is again around, it's a little bit above 43.3. I would say 43.5, and again, we'll look at that. It's not the greatest of formations, but I wanted to just briefly mention it because a few people have said, isn't this a Gartley coming off of this larger zone? I want to focus more on the fact that it's a type 2 bat pattern going back the last 3 weeks. I think this is the only consideration I really want to focus on for right now with Bitcoin, because we know that this zone and this range has been getting squeezed. There's a follow-up comment, which is actually a really good one. Marbob6 says it could mutate, or morph is another way to say it. It's kind of a play on animal terms, but those kind of formations do tend to morph into extension patterns. It's like this. The comment was that just came in was, well, if we have your X to A, B is at like a 60. It's almost like 65. Let's really get it right. It does matter. The exact level to really qualify the harmonic ratio is important. Essential, really. X to A, now that exact point there, 65% truly. And that is a little early indication of being a B point that is too high. It is not in the proper position. It's sitting above the 618 by an extra, really 1%, that I'm not going to say it's going to disqualify it, but it's maybe one of the first things that I would notice about something that could potentially be flawed. And if it's flawed, and if it's not a Gartley, and it does break out, well, these are crab formations. Crab formations go to a 1618. Take a little bit more time, of course. Yeah, it makes it, puts you back to 50 plus. It's all about how we act at this B point breakout. Like that. Are we going to break out of that B point? We have a verifiable W formation is something we've been looking for quite some time. But tell me what it does at this level. We could actually start the 30 bar count on the 4-hour chart now and make the entire assessment of how this B point breakout is going to go in like a week. Shaping up. It kind of looks like this thing is shaping up for a little recovery rally into the end of the quarter, end of the month, end of the quarter. Look at the individual bar on Bitcoin for the monthly. Move the drawings. I mentioned this the beginning of the month, and where we are now with what, 8-9 days to go. Where is this monthly candle going to close? Because if it goes green, it only takes what? You're $500 away from this going green on the month. Then you would have your second green candle for the first time in, since last July, August. And those individual price bar things do matter. Could that be point trigger the BAM? Absolutely. That's really what I'm alluding to. The comment is, with this daily setting up the way it is, would this trigger, I'll go to the 4-hour, would this trigger that larger breakout? And yeah, absolutely. It would trigger it above the 46 level, and then you could really see some acceleration above that 45.5, 46 for sure. But I suspect we will know pretty soon at the 43.3 level. You break out above 43.3 and close above that, it's not going to take more than maybe 3 or 4 bars, maybe a day and a half or more to really get going. That's the thing we want to watch going into the end of the week. Crypto's put itself in a nice spot. First time in a while. And I've been saying this, that the Bitcoin scenario is to play, is focus on Bitcoin so that we can identify altcoin opportunities. I mentioned a few yesterday. I'll take a look at a couple more today. But if we can clear above 43.3 or even 46, then you should start to see a larger acceleration where, yeah, the consolidation of Bitcoin is over. Before I go to the alts, take a look at total crypto market cap. This is progress. Remember these patterns? It was a type 1, type 2. Not out of the woods yet, but we identified there's a bat pattern. On the 4-hour, came back for the retest at 1.68. Just dragged itself out. Now, I think the daily time frame, there you go. The daily time frame is what we want to look for. This is still by definition in a type 1 reaction because we need to get to 2.09 trillion. And that's a minimum move. That's like there. That would be by definition the type 1 reaction. The first time you got close, but not all the way there. Came back down for a retest. I suspect if this thing can break out, you can get above 1.9, 1.95, an easy run back to 2.1. You do have this just triggered 2 days ago, HSI trying to slow you down. Okay? You're in a bullish zone, but you have a bearish HSI that you triggered, you're retesting now, today, literally today. So let's see where this closes. If it's going to break out from here, we should see the acceleration. You roll over. Let's say we come back here on Thursday and we haven't made much progress. That means it's going to be more time. I think it's even despite this HSI signal, I really feel like you've got a lot of things going on here where to get to target 1 is not too much of a stretch. On total crypto market cap, the amplified RSI continues to trend higher. And until that comes back, hits the overbought, your red line goes off, that would be the start of some kind of bearish signal. You're not there yet. So keep an eye on it. Really quick, let's want to go into the alts. But before I go into the speculative alts, I want to go into XRP. And I just feel like this is saying something to me. The massive weekly patterns that we've seen, The action that is, slowly building here is impressive. Let's go to it's XRP tether. There you go. Big Gartley. So here's a ideal Gartley because your B points exactly at the 618 as defined by the algos. And we know we had the type 1 and came back for the type 2. Actually did a secondary retest. This is another one where not only has the last few weeks have steadily made a successive formation of higher lows. That's a really good sign. It's kind of a subtle indication of that clear stabilization turnaround. It's not an explosion, but it's a demonstrative individual candle coming off of a major secondary retest. That's the stuff we know. Because we know the patterns there, it's clearly responding off your XA level. And we know that target 2 is the objective. Then these individual candles, a close above any of these prior highs will set it off. And the one thing that we're starting to see in a lot of the altcoins, and I'll go through a few examples, is the 3-bar breakout with the continuation. That's what I'm looking for in XRP. That would be really something that closes above the 3-bar range. So you're talking like there, above 86, above 85. And that's a weekly chart. On the daily, you have patterns there as well. And you did a 3-bar breakout yesterday. Right there, 84 cents. You're starting to poke into some short-term price discovery. Think of it that way. Quick question. Doesn't the BTC situation with the 4-hour HSI BT short, it's a tight go? The BTC thing is on the retest right now. Yeah, but it's... Let me go back to that really quick. I missed that. On the 4-hour time frame. Okay, depending on your feed, some of them are triggering now. Again, this is the problem with, you go Coinbase, it will trigger on the close, but that's still a couple hours away. There on the TradingView Bybit, you haven't triggered yet. Okay, this is the thing, this is where we are with a lot of these. I'm saying watch it now, watch it into tonight, the next 24 hours. We're hitting a lot of overboughts now, but they haven't registered yet. And if that, my thing is that if it can fail here and break out, I think you would see a larger acceleration. You would see this thing for the first time all year do some stuff. We'll know. I mean, the big type 2 off this bat hasn't registered, hasn't confirmed yet. And then you have a number of things that are running. So let's get to those altcoins really quick. Ethereum. Okay. This was another bat pattern. Let me go back there. But this one never did type 1. And there's a few of these that have set up with some bearish patterns, but they're going to likely go to the hop level. 31.31 is Ethereum in the 4-hour time frame. There you go. The other thing about the Ethereum situation, which is kind of strong, is you only had a reaction. You ran into a bullish HSI without hitting target 1, and then I'll wait until we're clearly on a larger retest. I think 31.30 is probably a max resistance number for this move. You're trading at 3,000 right now, and you still need HSI. So until you hit that or register HSI, this is going to grind up, continue higher. You're in a fairly nice spot. It's more about time than anything else. Check out Ethereum Classic, folks. We had mentioned this, I think it was a little while ago. Where is the there you go. Here was that daily crab pattern. Down at 20 bucks was the hop, 1987. But look, there's the confirmation. And this is one of the things to consider about crypto. Why I've been saying crypto is more about time than price, because we're seeing many scenarios like this. Ethereum Classic. There's your completion of the pattern. Okay. First confirmation comes about $7 lower. And what was that? Probably about 15 days later. You get a reaction, but not to target one, come all the way back down and trigger again. Now, not going to happen in every instance, but if you are aware that these things unfold like this, certain markets aren't going to be ideal. I think certain crypto situations, as we have seen, giving you great framework, but if you're not giving that immediate reactive move, you're getting dragged out until you get confirmation. So we're still targeting and looking for type 1 reaction, which is what we hit. Is that it? Would we now look for maybe a retest before the longer term could go higher? I want to see HSI. Okay, HSI comes in here somewhere between 51 and 42. All right, that would be the final thing I'm looking for in the end of this reaction. But clearly now type 1 reaction has been realized. This is the thing I think can happen in a lot of the altcoins that are dragging or getting stretched out, but clearly stabilizing in their long-term daily pattern zones. There's a quick question. How is this when you have there's two bearish HSI candles and then two green. So there's a red triangle there, green triangle there, another red there. These relate to, here we go, this indicator. So the bottom indicator is Harmonic Strength Index, where it hits the zone and comes out. To simplify it, what we're looking for, pattern completion as noted by that round sun icon, and then show me the arrow that matches with the PRZ. Bullish zone, give me the green arrow. That will tell me where I focus in the zone. I've also said that if you don't get a green arrow, my preference is not to take the trade. Some people like to try to maybe catch this quick reaction. I just don't think it's worth your time. I think putting your eyeballs to where the green arrow generates after the terminal bar is the best way to go. And then the way we manage it is that, you run into a counter HSI signal, you tighten your trade management parameters. You get aggressive on the position. Now, you're asking, well, there's 2 arrows. How do we treat that? You're looking for, again, focus on the larger zone, but you're looking for these kind of shots. You're looking for that kind of thrust move. All right, manage it. If it breaks down, you stop out. Ethereum Classic, this could have been, you could have done something like that and been in on the retest of HSI at 24 and then stopped out on the trend line violation. Maybe. All right. I still say this is one sloppy example of a lot of things we're looking at. It's a consideration that you have to just be mindful of in some of the other altcoins due to the nature of the whole market. Here's a couple to consider. Here's this Ren. I mentioned this yesterday. Get back here. Where'd you go? All right, this seems to start. This is starting to get out of the zone. Now, this has the exact same situation as the last crypto. First reaction, look, pink arrow, terminal bar completed, and then you get your HSI, but does not go above, really doesn't get to target one, doesn't get out of the zone. You come all the way back down. Run right into the next one. So you could have stopped out. You could have tightened up your stops here like that. But then start looking for another entry. Look at ETC. There's a few others that we'll look at that are doing this, where they are trying to do a consolidation and then break out and go. We're still looking for Ren to do a target one move to 67. But just taking its time. It's kind of sloppy against this butterfly, but still, still valid. These are major patterns. The other thing to look for, tell me what where these are relative to the downtrend. There's your big downtrend on Ren. Okay, so you have some work to do against the pattern. And then going into the zone, your accelerated downtrend, at least you violated that. I would look in this area. XA is at 29 cents as the primary trigger point. You're at 37 now. What about, say, a 4-hour or a 1-hour time frame? All right, break it down. Look, 4-hour time frame for Ren. You've got a bullish bat pattern. Did I get you a full test? Really close as a type 2. But break it down. Even if you're not close to the inflection low, if you're coming out, you're stabilizing on the daily time frame, and you find some bullish patterns that are kind of stair-stepping their way higher, like this is, take shots there. I think Ren, the XA on the 4-hour time frame around 33.50, not a bad place to be looking. I definitely feel like more of these alts are going to open up. You're seeing the washout. The washout's almost over. Here's a great one. Phenomenal. Here you go. VE chain. All right, 4-hour chart. You're hitting a type 2 crab pattern, deep crab, but that's not my concern. This is what I want to find. Big crab pattern on the daily at the hop. This is this is VE chain. And pretty ugly. I think I brought this up back in December when it first hit, and then quickly became a dud around 7 cents. And that's actually more of the typical failure, folks, that you'll see in a harmonic pattern. It'll hit the zone, just consolidate inside the zone, go sideways, and that was easily 30 bars. Go to 30 bars to the right. There's 30 bars. Tell me what is that doing within the 30 bar range? Nothing. You went up, you roll back down, you scratch it out. But now you're back at the hop. That's the complementary overspill zone. That's the way to think about it. Also the absolute make or break. Now where is, let me see here. HSI is not generating. Is that the, let me check the data feed. It might be something there. I don't know why HSI is not working on this one. We are wanted to mention that, folks. We are working on fixing some issues we've had with HSI, where sometimes in the longer term time frames they're not generating, or if you don't have, in I think the eSignal version, some of the default time settings in eSignal are messing up some of the HSI calculations. I should have something on that soon. Just wanted to let you know. Click auto in the bottom right. Yeah, like that. Yep, thanks. But here's VE chain. Doesn't seem like much, been between 4.5 to 5 cents, but finally starting to get off of the hop level. The hop level is at 4.2 cents, 4.27. And this is the thing that, for the first time, we can draw out some kind of concrete, the beginning of a concrete W formation, like this. X to A, B, C. So we get the higher low finally. And then can we at least get up to 886, or can you do a 1618 off the low? Something. Some kind of basic W formation where you can trace out, connect the dots, you get a higher low at C, and then can we get above B point at 5.7 cents? Absolutely. Let's take a look at, sure, Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I saw that. Another daily. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that. And we should be looking at these because the altcoin, these delayed reactions are now getting realized. Bitcoin Cash, massive butterfly. But take a look at what happened. You collapsed into the zone, and then count the bars. Today is bar 60. And here is bar 30. So take a look at that. I mean, that's an interesting chart because once you're at bar 30, there's the completion. You have a check back. It's like this. That's the 30 bar zone. You went up and you went back down. And so that's something to recognize, especially those first reactions. They don't follow through, or you are in your 30 bar window and you can't continue. Let's say you're bar 15 or 20 and you do a trend line break, something like that. Most likely you're going to come back and retest. That's what is happening with Bitcoin Cash, or it did. Came back to XA level at 270 and we've been up 100 now. Target 1 is at 443, and I don't think that's a pretty good number to target. Oh, look, check it out. You have two patterns here, folks. So Bitcoin Cash has a big butterfly, and then you've got a smaller crab pattern in the BC leg. Keep an eye on that one. And again, how would you take advantage of something like that? Well, recognize target 1, and then maybe get a 5-minute pattern pullback. Anything we have here? You had a crab pattern back yesterday. Keep an eye on this one. Look for, these 5-minute patterns to develop. They'll give you an opportunity to get in. Here's Binance Coin. Not really alt character, but massive patterns. BNB. Big bat pattern. I think it was an alternate bat down at, 350. If the patterns are going to stick, folks, you need to realize we're going to hit target ones across the board. For BNB, that's 513. Yeah, I'll look at data. I don't really look at that too much, but I'll pull that up. Theta token, same deal. There it is on the Binance feed. That's a type 2 crab. Look, there's your reaction. Comes all the way back down. The hop level at 243. Talk about a floor. That's your floor. Confirmation. Everything's at 243 on that. Currently trading 311. But this is where your larger breakout, larger things can happen, just by definition. So look, there's a ton of these. Ton of these that they're starting to go now. I mentioned this one, Cardano, that it was, still scraping super low. And again, I do think that at least in a kind of a reactive bounce, Cardano could get back to 120 or so. I don't like it as much, but keep an eye on it. One or two more. I'm running out of time. I got to get back to business, so hold on one second. Hold on one second. One moment, folks. One moment. All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna have to do a quick wrap up here with, let's look at Nasdaq and S&P, and then I'll go to do gold. I went too long on the crypto, but I definitely wanted to catch up with that. Again, Thursday we've got Mitch Ray, and I will be doing kind of a double shot thing with him. He'll be on my show at 11:30. I'll be on his night show. But I just wanted to update the big situation with Nasdaq hitting the shark pattern. We talked about this yesterday, and the check back that we were looking at is quite strong. There's HSI. We checked back and we did nothing. We're looking for the type 1 reaction off of that pattern. When we hit the check back level, we're still going up. I need one bar. So I need one bearish candle reversal bar. Until we get that, this will stay up in that zone. S&P. S&P is the same deal, but a little bit clearer. Look, couple of patterns, your big crab pattern, all of that was around 41. Well, 41.10 was the exact low from the daily. But you do have a few things where 45.80 is your target too for the crab off this bullish crab, and you have a bearish crab that just started getting generated this morning. Are you going to run to 4,600? Let's see. I mean, it's still up. I don't think it's going to be anything until we resolve, basically roll over on the indicator. You're still going to grind higher no matter what. Really quick, here's gold, folks. Gold's got this bat pattern. I'm not worried about it. It's probably going to retest and go sideways now. at this 1900 level. Remember that the daily bat pattern we talked about, you go back a couple months here, we did a type 1, type 2. Type 1, retest, and then target 2 at 1946. Then you had also the deep crab. So we're just still pausing. Reaction on here. 1925 is going to be support. I'm not surprised to see this thing take more time. Where's HSI now? I've got to bring that in. Yeah, I'm done. Let me get this back up there. I got to wrap up. But HSI has not registered yet. I think this is just going to be more about time than anything else. Gold's going to stair step and continue to stair step its way. That maybe this is what we should be considering for the rest of the year. Or at least go into, I don't know, the next 6 months. Come down for another, I don't know, 10 or 15 days. Go sideways, do a 30 bar. Go 30 bars to the right here. And then go down. So keep your eye on that. Again, I'm worried about gold. And crude oil, same deal. Crude oil is trying to consolidate. It's just a matter of time before this thing gives you another kind of W formation. I would look for something like this. Can we get a little thrust, come back, and stair step and go? That's the expectation on crude oil. Not just this, not just straight up. We see this. Look, HSI almost gave you a perfect confirmation signal. That would have been ideal. On the weekly chart, yeah, you're still overbought on amplified RSI. The weekly, now this is the only thing that's tricky. I did want to show, look, we had a weekly HSI signal a couple bars a month ago, but that's a failure. Why? Because you checked back and you exploded through. It's a little bit different. It's try to find, it's a rare candle. It's a rare breakout, but it's definitely a failure. I'll have to find something else. But don't get me wrong. It's not as strong as this is. It's still going to take time. Here's your accelerated uptrend, which is the new trend, by the way. That's the only thing you need to maintain, and that's I would feel like this holds until we get above new all-time highs, and you go up to 147 by 150 level. It'll take time. Might take the whole year. So again, a lot going on here. I just want people to be realistic with this. As crazy as the commodity sector, crude oil, the rest of them been. We ran into some bearish patterns recently, and I would expect to pause at those. Here's XLE, by the way. Okay, XLE on the weekly. Check back. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm watching that. It checked back against a bearish, overbought weekly signal. Here's on the daily. Okay, hell of a move. Nothing that's a major bearish signal, just more consolidation. It's going to take more time. Hey, Richmond. The famous Richmond Flowers Jr., everyone, in the house. Wikipedia that man. Google that man. Here's the boil. BOIL is the triple nat gas ETF. I'm still super bullish on nat gas. Why not? It's just going to take more time. And this hop level, go to target 1 at 65.60. And nat gas spot price is like this. I tell you. There it is. Nat gas spot. Still going higher. I don't have any problem with that. Look at your, it's more about the monthly or weekly chart depending on what contract you're in. There we go. Anyway, that's where I have to cut it, folks. But we'll be back on Thursday. I'll get in more of this on then. Until then, appreciate it. You have any questions, reach out to me at harmonictrader.com and get with the basic membership. Also, folks, remember, on Thursday, we'll have Mitch Ray and we will go marathon session. So be there. Until then, have a great one. And as always, go get them.